Okay, without further ado, let's begin with this talk. Welcome, everybody, to our talk on Changemaker Day, a journey of self transformation and community inspiration. Let's get right into it. Next slide, please. Okay, so I'll begin by introducing myself. My name is Emmanuel Estrada Larios, and I had the chance to lead last year's Changemaker Day as a student leader. I just graduated from computer science last December, so I'm pretty new to this adult life. And before we begin, we'll go to the next slide. I'll begin by introducing you to what actually is Changemaker Day. So, Changemaker Day, well, before I start talking about the Changemaker Day, let me talk about our school. Tec de Monterrey, Campus Guadalajara. Our campus was one of the first universities in Mexico, if not the first, to be designated as a Changemaker campus by Ashoka U in 2011. And since then, we've been really committed to inspire our school community to look around at the issues we face in the community, and to not only look around, but also to act up and be change makers. Um, this is how the story of Changemaker Day begins. In 2013, we held our first Changemaker Day, which is a festival that brings together students, professors, changemakers, entrepreneurs. In this festival, we have the chance to share stories, experiences, and throughout different activities, we try to inspire change in our community. We have a wide range of activities in this festival, from keynote speakers, workshops, speed mentoring, and much more. And again, we've been doing it since 2013. So now I'll hand it up to Erica, who will get us started on how this event came to be. We will be looking at it through three very important perspectives. The first one is the people who made this possible, the second one is the project, and lastly, the purpose. So, Erica, go right ahead.
Thank you very much. Well, as Emmanuel just said, I'm Erica. I was part of the Agenda Council of this Changemaker Day in 2020. I am also graduated recently this December with a Bachelor in Law. So I was able to participate here because I've been like an active student of student of social change in my campus. So let me begin by talking about people, the person that is going to create this type of event. One of the most important things and one of the most important points is that self-driven people create a self-driven project. This is extremely important, especially because of the type of event that Emmanuel just described. Because, well, as you see, this is the first and only photo we were able to take because of COVID-19. So you see a lot of people here. We all come from different backgrounds. We all come from different careers, passions, etc. We have careers such as engineering, for example, me, that I am a student of law, of different kinds of bachelors, etc. And also we all come from different types of passions. There are people that are extremely moved because of the I don't know, global pandemic that's going on, because of other things such as gender equality, etc. But we all came together to create one single project. This is extremely important because it shows us that no matter where you come from, these people will be able to create a project if you get them together. So how exactly do we find these people that want to make a change? Well, actually, it's very easy. Just let them come to you. We are actually very fortunate to have a space in campus called Central de Cambio that is literally the central for change, central of change, in which we are able to all come together and create and discuss ideas, projects, different kinds of things that moves us in, and to create different projects to be able to create a real change. This place is also very important to us because we can create this type of events that are massive and that can exponentiate change in other students. But well, you have the people, you have the place where you want them to get together, but let's also not forget that a team is a community and we just have to act as such because, well, as I just said, we all come from different backgrounds. We all have different abilities and a set of talents. And if we all put a little bit of ourselves in the project, we will be able to create a project that is amazing for everyone. For example, if I am not good in finances, but someone else is, no matter what part of the project they are working on exactly. If we all work together, it will create an amazing project. And talking about the project, I'm now going to give the word to my other friend, Itza, so she can talk a little bit about it.
Thank you, Erica. Hi, everyone. My name is Itzamara Guerrero. You can call me Itza. I'm currently an industrial engineering student. And like Erica, I have the role of agenda council. So let's talk about the project. There have been 8 editions of this festival, and every year the team that designs, plans, and executes the project is different. I wasn't in the beginnings in 2013 or 14, but these days it's considered just one keynote, and this event has grown so much that in this last edition we offer 36 activities, including talks, panel workshops, etc., as Manny said. Before the edition of 2020, there have been more than 100 speakers over 5 cities and more than 8,000 assistants, and no idea of the virtual experience. Next slide, please. The preparation of the festival takes a year. The adventures begin in February. The students who will be in charge of each area are given tools and the confidence to lead and make decisions. In the last edition, we start with a team of 12 students and 5 faculty staff. But in the middle of the year, each area grows depending on the needs of the project. The team ended up being made of 55 students and the support of 20 faculty staff. And we start with many ideas of topics where we want to start a conversation, like climate change, gender equality, empathy, education, and in the middle of our brainstorming and plans for the event comes the pandemic. And from one moment to another, we don't know how to handle and where it's going to happen. And we knew that the offer of virtual events increased, and everybody was so tired with the video conference. So we wondered, next slide, please. So we wonder, what are we going to talk about and how are you going to do it? How are you going to do it so that it doesn't feel like just another video conference? But the most important question was, why is it important that a Changemaker Day happen right now? Next slide, please. In our creativity process, we began to dream the ideal event with the space to connect, be inspired, create, and for these times, relax with yoga, music videos, and exercise to make it different and enjoyable. And then we realized that together as a team and with our individual skills in designs, production, organization, and even hobbies, we were able to make that ideal event come true. So, with that in mind, we understood that the unity and intersectionality is important to generate change in any of the current problems. Next slide, please. Our main topics were environment, assuming our responsibility as a consumers, diversity and inclusion, empathy to transform realities, and change makers discovering our potential to change community. We choose that issues because they are the ones that affect us all here and now, and that all individual actions have to be transformed into collective actions for a greater impact. So we made sure that each of the speakers were experts in their area and they were involved with their community. Incredible people, campaigners like Amaranta Gomez, Arturo Hernandez, Carolina Nieto, Mauricio Miramontes, and many more. Some of them are Shoka Fellows. And where Fergard's many names are not known very well yet, but we don't want to be the event where a famous person went. We want to be the event that left you wishing to change the world. The next slide, please. In this last edition, we achieved 7,500 participants from all over the world, where the average time of participation was 4.5 hours. From being known in 9 countries, now they know us in 17. And I should say it's all thanks to the team, where we turn our disadvantage into advantage, and because we focus on sharing in something we had learned to build together as a team, as a community.
Next slide. Okay, thank you, Itza. So now that we've talked about the people and the project, let's talk about how we built a purpose as a team. A purpose that drove us throughout the months leading to the event itself and on the day of the event as well. Let's begin by analyzing our slogan, the slogan we created for last year's Changemaker Day. In Spanish, it reads, construyamos comunidad, which in English it probably translates to coming together, building together. We as a team came up with these two sentences that we believe it summarize the importance of coming together and working together to change and to promote change, especially in a time where we had to be, socially distant. But that didn't mean we couldn't come together even virtually and work as a community to inspire others to be change makers. I think if the pandemic taught us anything, is that we need to value the company of others and how working together is the best and the fastest way to approach change. And let me tell you this, this was actually more than a slogan. It actually became our motto, our guide. We as a team came up with it and understood that if we really wanted people to understand the message that we were trying to convey, we had to abide by it and live by it. And that was key because more than a slogan, we had a purpose to bring people together and to build a community to inspire other people to be change makers as well. Next slide, please. And once every student in the organizing team had internalized the slogan, something almost magical happened. We as students took ownership of the event. And there's nothing more powerful than university students, or should I say, change makers, who take ownership. Why? Because when we've got ownership of a project, we understand that its success depends truly on us. So there's no need for faculty staff to be chasing us around to get stuff done. Because our ownership itself is what drives us to do things and to do them right. Next slide. But guess what? Things don't end with ownership. The ownership that every person in the team took brought along itself something even more magical: self empowerment, and the drive to inspire others to be change makers as well. So, if we look at the big picture, there's no wonder why this event was such a huge success. Our team consisted on a bunch of change makers with a purpose who had taken ownership of the project and who were so empowered by it that they did everything they could so that every person who was part of this event felt as empowered and inspired to be a change maker as well. To wrap it up, it's really important to keep in mind that you need to trust your students to take ownership. This is what happened here, Everyone in the team was the one, like the students in the team were the ones making the decisions. The faculty staff, on the other hand, was providing us with the tools and the resources needed for us to make a reality, like economic resources and such. But they really trusted us and our judgment to make our own decisions. And that's why we connected with our audience so well because this was an event created by students for students. Next slide, please. So, in conclusion, now that you know how this project came to life and how important it is to trust your students for it to become a huge success, I hope you realize that anyone can have their own version of Changemaker Day to inspire other people to be change makers. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily follow the same format, but if you gather a bunch of students with a purpose and you provide them with the right tools, they themselves will be the ones who making these events a reality to inspire your community to be a community of change making. So if we go to the next slide, we can look at the takeaways that we have from this event. When looking at the people, make sure that you create a team that works as a community, that leads themselves and have a passion for the project. That's key. And if we look at the project, let us not forget that the heart of the project, it's not the project itself, it's the team. You have to make sure that everyone's voices is heard, and that way the project will be successful. And lastly, it is important that your team has a clear purpose because the purpose itself is what will drive your team and inspire the team to do great things. Thank you very much for your time. And now we will leave our contact information here. If you have any questions, now's the time to do them. We will be looking at the chat and answering your questions. Anyone? Questions? Comments? Feedback? Already. We'll wait a couple more minutes for any questions to come in. Okay, so before we wrap it up, I just want to say that Changemaker Day will be happening again this year. So if you're interested in looking at it, make sure to visit our website. I'll leave it in the chat. Thank you, Violeta, for your comment. Thank you also because you are a very important part of this event. And here we've left, aside from our contact information, the website for Central de Cambio, which, as Mayor Erica mentioned, is the hub where change happens at our school, and our school's website for you to learn more about our university here in Mexico. Oh, we have a question from Patricia. What part of the event did you enjoy the most? I'll start and then I'll give the chance for my peers to talk. I think the part I enjoyed the most was to actually meet all the great people that I met throughout the project. Not only the day of the project itself, but throughout the path of building the project and leading towards the day of the event itself. I had a chance to meet a lot of people who were part of the team. Faculty staff were also helping us along the way, and meeting all these new people, learning about their perspectives, their stories, and everything. That was so inspiring, and I think that's what we go back to what we just say: how important it is to look at the people and the person, which is essentially the heart of the project itself. You know, Itza, Erika, do you want to share anything?
Um, I think that, as you said, maybe you have a lot of tools to learn that for your professional profile or something. But I think the most important, as we said all the time, it's the team. For me, the team this year was amazing, and that was my favorite part of the event, to be inspired of incredible people like you and all the guys that we there.
I think one of my favorite parts was definitely seeing this project slowly grow. We began, of course, thinking about the theme of the year that was going to happen in Changemaker Day, all the different parts that we wanted to like literally be part of the event, etc. And then having like more consistent people, like we have already people that are going to be speakers, etc. And then have it all just be a huge success was definitely amazing.
Thank you so much, Erika and Itza. We had another question from Violeta. What is in for Changemaker Day 2021? Violeta, I think that's a very good question because each year we're trying to look at the different topics that are relevant towards the community, and I think that with this accelerating rate of change that we're facing with the pandemic and all the social issues we're facing, we're gonna be seeing a lot of new topics, right? Not only a focus on this like three axes that we saw last year, like environment, change making, and diversity and inclusion. I think we're also gonna be seeing maybe things related to women's rights, politics, many more things. So make sure that you stay posted on the website and our social media to learn more about the topics that the team who will be organizing this year's Changemaker Day will choose on. And we have another question from Patricia again. How are you still progressing on your Changemaker plan? Itza, Erika, do you want to share anything?
I think that since it was one of the projects that I did last, like in my whole career, it was definitely very, very like he had a huge impact in like how I'm still like processing it, and I think I'm still processing it even. I met a lot of new people, and I met a new ways of creating events, especially because of these like well, we had COVID just when we were starting to plan it, so it was definitely a learning experience. I think that was very, very important for me. Learning how to create a team that was basically everything online and create an amazing, yeah, I mean, like they're friends to me, so I think I'm still processing that. All of the topics that we also were able to discuss during the event definitely stay with me. Um, so yeah, I think those are the things.
Excellent. Itza, you want to share anything on how your progress is going with your Changemaker path? Or what do you expect for next year's Changemaker Day?
I really don't know because I think that I'm still learning, but every time that I work in a project like this is to know what it's going to happen and how I'm going to incorporate to my own perspective. So I'm very grateful for be part of it. And yeah, I think I'm still learning and I do a good job with my friend stuff.
That's great. And you know what? You're right. You say that it's a never ending journey, a changemaker journey. We're always learning new things, and since our world is constantly changing, we also have to adapt our change making perspectives, right? For the new issues and the new problems that our community faces. And I think you're part of the next year's team, right, Itza? I think you're also the one to tell us what can we expect then with all these issues and new issues arising. What can we expect from next year's well this year's Changemaker Day, right? Heading back, like going back to Violeta's question.
You know what? It's a hard question because I think that we are now at this point of knowing it's going to really happen, that what topics or what kind of activities are going to pass there. But I know that it's a great team. Um, we are, as I already said, all are learning right now, and we are with getting tools to know what it's going to happen. But as you said, I think it's going to be more like diversity, inclusion, politics, and a lot of this. And of course, we are going to take the central topic like community, but with another perspective. I wish.
Awesome. Okay. So if there's any more questions, now's the time to let us know or any other comments. Um, Erika, perhaps you can stop sharing screen so that they can see our faces better. Very good. Well, if there are no more questions, we would like to take the opportunity to thank everyone who joined us this evening to listen to what we had to say about this journey that we as a team share, and we really wanted to share it with you because I think it was truly one of the highlights of our 2020. I'm speaking for me and for my friends. Changemaker Day 2020 was one of the best things that happened in 2020. Even though we faced all these challenges, like we mentioned throughout the presentation, with COVID and everything, and having to adapt from an like in-person only event to all online, but that was also that brought us to new horizons, like having the chance to be heard in other countries and stuff. And it was a really inspiring. We made a lot of new friendships. We learned a lot as you could tell from our presentation. So we hope you enjoyed our presentation. We hope you can take something from home from what we had to share tonight. And good luck in your change making careers. We're all learning. We're all constantly learning. Even though Eric and I graduated from university, we're not done in our change maker path. So thank you, everyone. Have a great night, and let's stay in touch.